What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News. Sorry about the first attempt of the live stream. Um, I don't know what happened. It was YouTube's fault. YouTube was acting screwy this morning. You know, coming live from work. Just made it to work. Have an action-packed day. I wanted to chop it up with you guys for a few. Skrilla 50, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Brandon is in the building. Counterpunch, guys. Just eating a little breakfast. Breakfast of champions. We had an interesting weekend of boxing. What did you guys think of Jake and Paul? First off, God of War, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Where we at in this crazy world? Yo, Kurt, why does everyone avoid Andrade? Well, Andrade is one of those unfortunate fighters that he's talented, but he's not that marketable. He hasn't had a lot of good management over the years. And I think because of that, his career took a massive hit because of that. And he's with Eddie Hearn. And even with Eddie Hearn, he had really no backing by the time he got to Eddie. So he's like one of these fighters that still has to prove himself because he has no claim to fame. The only thing that no one hasn't done is defeated him, but he hasn't fought anyone really that the Billy Joe Saunders or the Canelos or even the Danny Jacobs. He hasn't fought any of those guys, but I would like to see him in there with someone like Danny Jacobs, a guy that's been in there with Canelo and Golovkin. You know what I mean? Quillen, those type of guys. A proven guy. So if he could fight and beat someone like Danny Jacobs, he could probably then get the respect that he deserves. K Beats, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. This is a massive turkey, avocado, egg, breakfast of champions, oatmeal, and the green drink. Oh yeah, the green drink does wonders. Skrilla 50, from my knowledge, Andrade came to one of Charlo's press conferences to call him out. Yeah, he did. Back in the day. He did that a couple times, I think. But the problem with Charlo, they offered him a Charlo fight. I can't remember if it was Jermell or Jamal. And he turned it down. He said it wasn't enough money. So again, if you're a guy that's trying to make a name for yourself, you know what I mean? He should have had better management. Brandon, what do you think of Boot Ennis and Virgil? Do you think they are the future of the welterweights? Well, they're definitely in the future. How big of an impact, only who knows. Ennis, he's making a lot of noise, being a young fighter. But all these young fighters have to be tested. Everyone has to be tested eventually. This new trend of, hey, I'm a star, but we don't know who you are, it's not going to work. You got to get down. This is boxing, man. You're going to have to box to get respect. You want the action, you want the juice. You're going to have to do what you need to do. You can't, like Gervonta Tank Davis, you can only do so many things to make that guy seem like the dude until he beats some dudes. You know what I'm saying? So he has to live up to that resume. Okay, we know we went through the Wilder era, and we seen how Wilder was. You can't just knock out a bunch of nobodies, and because people won't respect you. So if you can learn anything from guys like that, they should know, like, you can't pad your resume all your career and then fight one guy at the end of the rainbow and then all of a sudden you're the best ever. No, it doesn't work that way. So yeah, Boot Ennis, Virgil, Ortiz, those guys are good, but they're making names for themselves. But we'll see. Metal Box J, what's up, brother? Massive counterpunch from the UK. Counterpunch to you, Metal Box J. Rico, see that. What's up, brother? Yeah, I got this oatmeal with brown sugar and pecans. Juan Big Guns. What's up, brother? Yes, we need to see the AJ announcement. Yeah, we do. The AJ Fury announcement. Tom, who do you think Wilder should fight next? And any news on Wilder's new trainer is or should be? I don't know. I haven't had any news on his new trainer. I know he's working with his diving partner, Malik Scott. Can you counterpunch a Jogba versus Dubois and who wins? No, I can't really say so. I mean, I want to see Dubois healed, and I've got a good video coming out later tonight about Dubois. It's very interesting. Ennis will be avoided. Well, I could see that. Hearn said he's happy for Andrade to fight Charlo on Fox. What's the problem? There shouldn't be a problem, Metal Box J. There shouldn't be a problem at all. Because if Eddie Hearn wants to go that route with Andrade, and I think Andrade at a situation now has to do what he needs to do. Brittany Devine, kind of punched to you, dear heart. Yeah, I'm at work. I decided to do a live stream because I think we got a lot of downtime before we shoot up the place. So it should be fun. Us Brit gamers. August is being heavily rumored for AJ and Fury. McCracken may not be in AJ's corner due to the Olympic commitments. Yeah, I heard Frank Warren mention that, but why would Frank Warren be concerned about that? You should be worried about the commitment. Billy Joe will need to borrow Lucille off of Negan to get a draw. I understand this. If Billy Joe Saunders beats Canelo or if he gets a draw against Canelo Alvarez, that will be Canelo Alvarez's third draw. Third draw. There it is. That's that other finger. Third. That means Billy Joe actually won. Just like we know Golovkin actually beat Canelo. Okay, the first fight. That's what happens when you fight a star. You may not get the win, but you'll definitely get something. See, what was the question you asked yourself? What was the difference between Golovkin and Lara? Golovkin was the champ. Golovkin was the reigning champ with 22 title defenses of 21. Golovkin was he was a house name. He wasn't a avoidable Cuban fighter. He was a guy that was making a reputation for beating the shit out of people. That's what he was doing. Now, So it is what it is. Warren is looking for "I told you so." That fight doesn't happen next. Well, it'd be a shame if it didn't, but Merle Dixon, imagine Billy swinging that bat. Oliver Meehan, how many belts do you think will be stripped off Fury and Joshua by the end of their two fights or shortly after? Maybe two. It'll probably be the WBO and probably the WBA, because if they come up with mandatories, was it Paco Vacasel, right? Frank and Bob will say how they proud to make this event happen. When Hearn done all the work, these old promoters make me hate the game. You got a point there. And all they gave us was doubts. I have it 1-1 with Triple G and Canelo, but that's my opinion. Merle, that's all it was. Golovkin won the first fight, which they couldn't take from Canelo because he was too big of a star to take another L. So they gave it a draw. And then when he improved in the second fight, they gave him the fight. But they only gave him the fight because he improved from the first fight. That's it. Not said he necessarily beat Golovkin, but it is what it is. He just did better than he did the first time. Joe Foley. Yes or no? In a unification, they can be stripped. See, the only way two unified or fighters can become unified if they have a mandatory and that mandatory agrees to either step aside for a step aside fee. If not, he can go to the not the commission but the sanctioning bodies and file for his opportunity. See, the WBO, like with Usyk, right? Usyk, Nikki Blue Eyes Austin kind of punched to you. But yeah, Joe, you can file a claim with whoever that sanctioning body is. IBF will strip you for sure. That's why Joshua had to fight Pulev, because if not, Pulev would have stripped him. Just like Deverenchenko stripped Golovkin because Golovkin was waiting for the Canelo fight on the second go around when he just should have fought Deverenchenko, and I don't understand why he didn't. He ended up fighting him anyway. He ended up getting hurt and busted up pretty good now, right? So those type of things can happen in the sport. Now, not everyone is stringent and strict as the IBF. So, like the WBO, see, they allowed Usyk to fight Joe Joyce for some type of mandatory or whatever elimination. But what was stupid about that, the WBO had already granted Alexander Usyk the right to fight Anthony Joshua. So again, I think that it varies from different sanctioning bodies. But if it was the IBF, you're definitely getting stripped. That stuff with Billy is wrong. It's going to be a good fight, though. I love watching him when he's on his A game. Brittany Devine, I hope that fight is exactly like the David Lemieux fight. I hope he outboxes Canelo to the point, which probably won't happen, but because Canelo's a very, very good fighter. You know what I mean? Very. And that's the problem. Canelo doesn't need any of the other stuff. He doesn't need the protection. He didn't need that GB, that golden boy protection. He never needed that to be considered a good fighter. He was always a very good fighter. I love his combinations, his punches to the body, his combinations when he mostly ends to the body. His feints are off the chain. Okay, he will feint one way and go a totally different way. Those looping left hooks will knock you out. Those left hooks to the body will drop you out. He's a very good fighter. The only problem is he's a very good fighter on top of, hey, he's on a politician protection plan. Okay, so you got all that. You got to deal with him and then fight the freaking guy. Then on top of that, he has all the help on the most high, which is crazy. It's crazy. So Billy Joe, I hope he has a performance like the David Lemieux performance. So if they do, it would be like an uproar like Lennox Lewis and Evander Holyfield was when Lennox Lewis beat the piss out of Evander Holyfield for like 9, 10 rounds, right? Probably 2, 3 rounds you gave to Holyfield. Then they called it a damn draw. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it just shows you the sport. David James, yes, Kirk, quick shout out, my bro. Keep up the great content. Get me through a hard day's work. Blessings from across the pond. David James, thank you, bro. I'm glad I can get you through the day. We all need that push, and I'm glad I'm giving you that shove. Brandon, Kirk, do you think Bivol can beat Better Beef? Brandon, I have no idea. That's a very two tough top fighters. Two undefeated fighters. Bivol's a very busy fighter. It would be probably one of the fights of the year. That's a fight I would love to see. But I don't know. Too close to call. Does anybody want to see Triple G Canelo 3? I don't. Joe Foley. I don't either. Luke Thomas. Kurt, do you think Fury is in Joshua's head? No, I don't.
Hey, rehearsal's going to be at 7:30. Okay. I'll probably pull you around 7:25.
Okay, thank you. Almost rehearsal time, guys. It's at 7:30 here, so we can go another 10 minutes. Hope all you are enjoying your life more than me. TY Nova YT. I hope your life gets better, whatever's wrong with it. You know what I mean, Ty Nova YT. Snot Gobbler. Which fighters would you like to take off PBC Island, and which would you put on? Can I offer Khan and Eubank, please? Fine. I would take Jamal Charlo. Jamal Charlo now. Throw him on the zone. I would have took Irizlani Laura maybe about 4 years ago. Not now, he's too old. I've seen his performances. And I feel that, who else? Tank should go to Top Rank. That would be massive. If Tank Davis went to Top Rank. Open season. Open season, guys. Do you see AJ beating Fury? I'm not sure, Effie. I mean, it depends on the game plan. I don't see him hurting him. Well, I don't see him hurting him with one shot. Because I think AJ can hurt him with one shot. Knocking him down with one shot, I would like to see it to believe it. But I think in both fighters, they have the ability to hurt one another. I think Joshua would have to break Fury down, you know. But then again, I don't see the fight being too big of a gap. I think Fury's the better boxer, but I don't think he's the puncher. But I don't think he's like levels above Joshua as far as boxing ability at this point. Yeah, him and Wilder, that's one thing, but Wilder is a fighter that believed in power only. He never really believed in all that other stuff. Shaq Solder. Yo, Kurt, I'm fasting and watching you eat and drink is making me hungry. Peace, brother. Keep up the good work. Shaq Solder. Hey, man. Fasting is awesome. I couldn't do it today, though. Because, we got to do a lot of stuff today. But appreciate the love, man. Appreciate the super chat. You hear about the UK judge being canceled for the Billy Joe fight? Sounds like the fix is in. Snot Gobbler, I have. That's what Billy Joe was talking about. I counterpunched it a couple days ago. Or was that yesterday? That was yesterday. And I feel that the fix is always going to be in. See, they know what they're dealing with. They know Billy Joe's a good fighter. He's not that other dude, okay? They know that. And since they know that, they're making it as hard or more difficult as possible to make sure that Canelo Alvarez gets what he wants. See, this fight ain't about who's the best out of Billy Joe and Canelo. This fight is about Canelo making Mexican history. You guys understand what I'm saying? He will be the only Mexican that will become a undisputed super middleweight champion. Because if you notice the headlines are like this. Canelo, can he make history? That's what they're trying to do. And everybody's along for the ride. That's exactly what they do. One thing, I can't stand our boots. The clapping. What up, Kurt? Counterpunch to you. The underscore clappening. Or clappening. Yeah, that's it. Clappening. Counterpunch to you, brother. Canelo won't be undisputed until he beats Plant. That's right. Why do you think Hearn is already working on that fight? That's what Billy Joe was pissed about. He felt disrespected, and he should be. Because Hearn is already putting the gears in motion for Canelo Plant fight when this fight hasn't even happened yet. The sweet science is universal to me. It should be. There are more Mexican cows that will dispute that undisputed title. Simon Breakwell. I got a 50-50 with AJ and Tyson Fury, guys. Chain with ice. Counterpunch to you, brother. I was really impressed with Huey Fury. I love his style. He's all right. Godfrey, big counterpunch. What are you eating? Um, Croissant, turkey, avocado, egg with a little cheese. You know. No. Yeah. Forgive me, guys. I'm not trying to. You know. So I want to take my time and eat, and Carlos, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you, man. Inbox me, man. I gotta talk to you about some stuff. I hope all is well, man. I gotta get one of those burgers. Go to Cups Drive-In. Some of the best burgers on this side of the Mississippi, people. Real talk. Waco, Texas. Waco, Texas. Stranginess. To me, George Foreman is the GOAT because I've had the same Foreman grill in my family since I was little. I made many of these cheese-filled toasties with it. You know what? When I was about 19, I bought a George Foreman lean, mean, fat reducing machine, and I loved it. And I bought about 3 of them or 4, and I loved it. I put my seasoning on there. It's easy as shit. You seen all the juice and shit run out of that? Needless to say, if you're a real steak lover, that would make you sick. Like real talk. Like real talk, guys. Take your time. You deserve it, brother. Well, not about time, because a lot of times you hurry up and wait, but then a lot of times it's like hurry. Because we have rehearsal here in a little bit. Like in about 5 minutes. We'll be able to be there at 10, but I got to leave here at about 5. Whoa, Ferry is scared of AJ. You can feel it. It came from their first sparring session, and that fear is worth a lot. AJ will be Fury's kryptonite. Ooh. Hey, that's a bold statement. That is a bold statement. Who do you got? Gary Russell Jr. or Tank Davis? Ooh, that's a good one. I will go with, I don't know. I would say maybe Tank, but who knows? It's Sly. YouTube made me change my name. What do you think of Andrade taking a Uber driver to decision and then accusing Canelo of cherry picking? Well, this is what I say to that. I say that people need to worry about their own battles. You know, he has to worry about his own battles because he was in a battle. But Gary Russell, Tank, I guess it was safe to be Tank, but Gary Russell's one of the fastest fighters around. So who knows? I guess, Kurt, I guess you didn't see my comment about boxers coming to the end of their careers. What do you think of Povetkin, Pulev, and Ortiz fighters, the winner? That would be, Nikki, that would be absolutely awesome. I would love that. Nikki, I would love that. No, I didn't see the comment. I'm sorry. But I would actually love to see Povetkin and Pulev. That would actually be a very good fight. And I think Pulev would get Povetkin at this point. I think that COVID shit really put a toll on him. and he's maybe a year and a half younger. Maybe how is Pulev, like 37, 38? So yeah, I think he has maybe a couple good fights left. Povetkin, no. But the thing would be, who would I would like to see Povetkin, Ortiz. That would be a very good fight because it would be a very tactical fight because Ortiz would be looking for counters and taking jabs from Pulev. Okay, Pulev's 39. All right. Good stuff. Povetkin 41, Ortiz 185 years old. Kurt drinking that green juice from Grand Theft Auto 5. I heard that. My mom's picking Fury. I'm picking AJ. Family struggles. Oh man, AJ gets stopped by Fury. Wow. Um, I got an interesting video coming out here after the live stream about Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. Actually, a couple. Did you enjoy the Andrade fight? I did. Yeah, Andrade showed heart and grit, you know. But after that fight, I could see him beaten. I could see him. I could see him. Someone just beating Andrade. I mean, I could always see it, but I mean, just looking, projection. But now he saw someone give him a rough go. It won't be easy, or he'll put up a fight. But no, at the end of the day, I feel that somebody will get to him. I would like to see him in Charlo. Need another debate with your boy Blue. Javoris, I will. It may come sometime this week. Look, the first encounter was accidental. However, I have good news. I will post another version because we talked for about an hour or debated for about an hour. So I'll drop another one for you guys, just for you guys, drop it on here. And it's more debates. But I'm working on a really special project concerning cheaters in the sport. I started a volume a couple months ago, and it's the dirtiest fighters. So I have another one that's I'm about to release. I'm working on the edits. Are we ready?
Okay. No, not yet. So they're going to start with POVs coming out of the hatch. So we're going to hold off on rehearsal for you guys for a little while.
Okay.
Thanks.
Great. Well, guys. Looks like I'm not going to rehearsal right now. Things change in this industry, so we're gonna chill for a little bit more. Is Blue Blood impartial? Yeah, he's impartial to Deontay Wilder. He's a Deontay Wilder's fan. Well, it is what it is. I feel Charlo gets him. Murley, I'm feeling that too. Maybe it's just because. Let's look at it like this, though, Murley. How would you feel if Charlo was in a really tough fight? You know what I'm saying? Because I think what happens is we see a fighter struggle. We see a fighter we see a fighter get challenged. And then we start speculating. We start saying, you know what? I see someone else getting them. And it might be true based on certain factors, But you think of the right hand of Charlo versus Liam Williams' right hand. You know what I mean? What if Charlo would have done that? But we do that all the time. So the question you ask yourself is, if Jamal had a tough fight with a guy, could we think this? Would we be thinking the same way? That's my question. Nikki Blue Eyes, can't wait till your next live. Peace. Nikki, thank you. Thank you for dropping in. And I feel like he's like Conor McGregor, though. He has a cardio weakness that I don't think he can fix. And once he uses up a lot of energy, he's vulnerable. Yeah, he tries to do too much too fast. I see Andrade. I'm like, dude, take it easy. Like, really, calm your nerves. But I don't think he can. He's like a guy that, that's suffering from ADHD, because he's just like all over the place, and he got caught with that punch, and he caught Williams with a good right uppercut, but then right from that, when he spent out, he got caught with that right, hands down, because he's all over the place. Blue was big mad. Well, I'll say this. When I came on, he was probably like, this fucking guy. Like when I came on, because I seen his demeanor, his face kind of change. But as we got to debating, he seen, okay, this ain't that bad. I mean, you can only talk and say what's on your mind. I'm not gonna curse the guy out. Charlie Torre, counterpunch to you. Salute. When we left, motherfuckers left. Blue Blood was like, I gotta go. Yeah, that was kind of cut short, but we did have a nice little powwow, and it will be more of them. There will be more of them. I follow him on Instagram. He follows me on Instagram now, so I can chat. We could set something up. You know. Blue said Tony Harrison is better than Lara. No, Tony Harrison is younger than Lada. He is never better than Lada. He's tripping. No, absolutely not. Lada is a fighter that has the IQ of, I'm not going to say Mayweather, but it's very high. It's very high. He knows where you are due to his distance. Tony Harrison can box. He's a shit-talking Michigan native that upset Jermell Charlo. I get it. But is he better than Lada? No. And Lada in his heyday would beat some. You know what? He would probably, Lada would probably stop Tony late, if not early, either really early or late. So no. YOLO, what's your job? I'm an actor and a stunt performer. So I'm a stunt actor. Troy Battle. It's a shame that Luis Ortiz don't get the opportunity to fight the other top heavyweights. I think Ortiz will give anyone problems. Troy Battle. I've been saying that shit for the last 5 years. I'll say this, Troy. I don't think the relationship between Ortiz and Eddie Hearn has been that good. And I'm going to tell you why. You guys don't know, Eddie Hearn had Ortiz as a fighter like about 3 years ago, 4 years ago, before he went over to Fox. These are facts. Okay? But Wizard Sleeve, listen to what I'm gonna say about Ortiz. Ortiz was signed with Eddie Hearn. And in that 2-fight deal, he beat Dave Allen and he beat Malik Scott. Okay? And after that, whatever happened, I think, Eddie Hearn. And I think Eddie Hearn, I don't think he wanted Ortiz as one of his fighters. Why? Because he would eventually have to put Ortiz against someone like White, someone like Joshua, someone like whoever else he had, because he'd already beaten the other guys. I mean, why would you let a fighter go when he's beaten the guys when you were signed with him? I'm going to tell you why. Because he wasn't as marketable as people thought he was. But that doesn't have anything to do with being dangerous. See, Luis Ortiz was dangerous, and he knew it. But he also knew Luis Ortiz is getting older. So Eddie Hearn looked at it like, should I put this guy against my top British fighters? No, I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to drop him. That's exactly what happened, because it was like he was too big of a threat there. Okay, you don't believe me? Look what Povetkin did. Povetkin knocked out White. That could have been Ortiz. Ortiz has a wicked right hook. Uppercut. Right, with those uppercuts. You got to keep it real. And Eddie Hearn had full access to Luis Ortiz. Okay, this is facts. This is not fiction. So yeah, we can talk about his age all day long, but we can talk about the only man that stopped him was Deontay Wilder. That's the best and only win Deontay can ever say that no one else can say. No one he can't. No one else can say that. But then see, Al Heyman's a mastermind. He did the same thing Eddie Hearn did, but in reverse. What he did was he was like, So since Deontay Wilder hasn't really fought the opposition he's supposed to, we'll give him that notoriety by beating Ortiz since nobody else has beat Ortiz. But I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get Ortiz fights, get him a good enough payday to shut him up, to shut his team up. Okay, it's not about him; it's about his management also, right? Jay Jimenez and those cats. So what he did was he was like, fine, well Ortiz, and he closed the relationship. He had a close relationship with the management team of Luis Ortiz. So what Al Heyman did was he made a pact with that team, like, listen, don't let anybody, I mean anybody, fight this man. So when Eddie Hearn did come to send that offer after Jarrell Miller messed up, what they did, they remembered that pact at Al Heyman. He was like, nope, you're fighting Wilder. We're going to give him another opportunity on down the line, right? They didn't really know when that was, but they promised him that, right? Now it was Al Heyman. You know, everybody says, oh, Wilder. Yeah, Wilder told him that, but that was Al Heyman's doing. Someone has to be big enough not to take a fight from AJ and Eddie Hearn. You know what I'm saying? For like 4 or 5 million, something like that. That's the biggest amount of money he'd ever made in his life. All right, so that pact, because that pact was formed, understand that. That's why that fight between Ortiz and Anthony Joshua never happened. That's why that social media crap came out about, oh, they dropped the ball, they underpaid us, they underbid us, right? And that's exactly what happened. Totally agree. And also, Demetrius Andrade is a reflex fighter, and it seems like you slow down. That might seem just me letting. Let's not forget to Lim Williams got ran over by a car. He couldn't walk. Damn. I think AJ Fury out in the 7th. The round is unlucky for the undefeated fighters. Brittany, you got a point. The 7th round has been a mother sucker. Think about it. Povetkin too. Povetkin got stopped by Joshua in the 7th, right? Joshua gets stopped in the 7th. Wilder gets stopped in the 7th. Yeah, not just undefeated fighters, because Povetkin was already undefeated. Joshua knocked him out though. Most of the YouTube boxing posters are biased, but you seem to deal facts. Tony T, I mean, that's what we go on. That's what you got to go on if you want to keep it real. Chain with Ice, what up? You good, bro? Tony Barlett. See, that's in French. Barlett. Drew Bettis, I think 7th. Also, but Fury will fight on the back foot or need to go stretch tonight. I think if Fury gets hurt, Fury will change his game plan. And when that happens, he will find himself trying to outbox Joshua on the back. That's a reasonable, because if he tastes an uppercut or something that hurts him, the question is, can Joshua continue landing those shots? That's all it takes. Accumulations, my friend. Blue back was up immediately when you came on. Kurt, how effective will Mayweather train AJ be? I'm gonna do a video about that, and I think it will be very interesting, because Floyd is a guy that teaches defense also. Then you look at Fury. Fury's deflecting body shots. He's keeping keeping the cross here and making sure that body is protected, because he knows what's coming. He knows where the target will be, right? So Kurt KO's blue blood viable left hook to the body, round 1. And it's got an Einstein brain. Chain with Ice, all good, bro. It's a beautiful day here in the UK. Absolutely, I hope so. Ortiz does get chances. He doesn't seem to take them, though, as well. Yeah, but I think that's around it again, around the management team. And he doesn't have a good enough relationship with his management team, because when you get an offer that Luis Ortiz, he didn't even know about himself, his own damn offer, Tony T? No. That shows me that Al Heyman had a better relationship with his management team than he did. That's all that means. Hey, Kurt, do you think only short heavyweights are able to score knockouts from body shots? Can't remember the last time I saw one since Iron Mike. It's a very good question. Um, well, I remember when Holyfield got stopped with a body shot by James Toney. The clapping, nothing but unbiased facts. Thank you, brother. That's what I try to keep it real, man. But Ortiz turned AJ's offer down. Tony T. Here's the thing. No, his management didn't admit to that. That is not what Tony T. That is not the case. That didn't happen. Ortiz didn't even know about the offer that Team AJ. Okay, his management did, and they said that they had a deal in place for Deontay Wilder, which he ended up fighting Deontay Wilder on pay per view, if you can remember. But then later on, um, uh, it was him and was it Herman Calcedo and himself, his trainer and himself. They didn't know anything about the offer. So no, that didn't happen. Now you have to fault you have to fault a fighter himself though. Ortiz has to be accountable of how his relationship is on the intel. He's supposed to know exactly what's going on. Like if you own a business, you don't expect the manager of your business only to know everything that you don't know. How if that's the case, how are you going to know if that manager that you've hired is doing a good job? You know what I mean? You have to have some type of oversight on that. So again, that's Ortiz's fault. Okay, that's his bad. Oh yeah, it's his bad. I know that everyone's not management savvy, but hire a guy over a guy that you know that you can trust, because not everyone's just going to do you right, and that's real. You know. Do you think Wilder dodged Povetkin? The B sample came back clean. Um, I think Wilder was up for the fight until that came about, and when that came about, you received doubt. As a fighter, you received doubt. You don't want to go over to another country and then find out a guy that was taking something. Now, however, what he was taking, I can't even remember now, but what he was taking was legal like months before. They made it illegal, but then the son of a bitch took it still after that. Right? And that was the problem. But here's the thing, you can look at it two ways, because we look at both sides over here. You can look at Wilder saying, no, you know what? I did come over here. I did train. I did do this. I did that. I need my money. Um, but then if the B sample came back clean, there's supposed to be some doubt. But then how much doubt? How much doubt are we talking about, really? Because you're talking about a substance that was illegal, but it was for some reason it became illegal. I get that, but at the end of the day, you're like, okay, well, if the fight should happen, I don't think they should have reverted to trying to sue. And I think at some point, Team Wilder was like, you know what? I don't want to fight him, but I do want my damn money for this fight. So I think that's what caused all that stuff to happen. Sounds familiar? Like Smash, big up Kurt, Young Haiti, counterpunch to you. Buenos dias, Jay Rodriguez, ¿qué te pasa? PVC kept Wilder from Povetkin. They knew he'll get assassinated, and Povetkin won his PED allegation and got 10 mil. Yeah, I didn't really keep up with that. I knew it was a back and forth thing. It got real bad though. It did. And I guess bad enough for the fight not to happen. So you know what I'm saying? It was kind of like, Martha Stubbs, enjoyed your redemption list video. Appreciate you. You know, and look, I hope they all come off the redemption list eventually. Some of them will. Some of them will retire on the redemption list. And if that happens, they will stay on the redemption list. You know, that means they never redeemed themselves in their career. Love him or hate him, the Mayweathers are all about the art of boxing. Hit and not get hit reminds me of Senior yelling at Hatton against Pac-Man. Look, Pac-Man was a dead man. I'm sorry. Hitman was a dead man against Pac-Man. Bars. Okay. I think there are plenty of people in the chat that would fight AJ or Fury for $5 million. Yep. You know, I wouldn't want to personally fight Fury. I just see him as a big, awkward guy that you'd be like, dude, he's fast, he's quick, he'll punch you in the jab, punch you in the face, make you mad, you know? I don't know. I don't see him go. I don't know. I wouldn't want to fight him. Is Usyk fighting Joyce, or did that dry up? I mean, as far as I know, I mean, you know what? That's a good question, though, because we haven't heard anything about those guys. I got to do some research and do some digging. Your thoughts on Orlando Canizales? Who's that? Fury's first fight, he won by body shot versus nobody. Long hair guy, morning brother, from the UK. Counterpunch to you. Joseph Adetola. Counterpunch to you, brother. Good morning. Adaptability is Fury's best asset. He can adapt between rounds. AJ can't afford to do the same things over and over. Well, that's true. That's true. I mean, it's going to be a very interesting fight. Do you think Al Heyman is good for boxing? Tony T, I think Al Heyman was good for boxing. You know, I mean, I think Al Heyman is a guy that he's a very good, shrewd businessman. But I think he is the representation of a lot of people that started good that ended up not so good. Okay, when he put boxing on free TV, that was ingenious. It was the best thing that anybody could have ever done. You're trying to bring boxing back. You're not trying to just keep that shit for the you're not trying to keep that shit for just the paying premium guys or the premium people, right? So you're not, you know, that people from the early 80s, like before my era, you know, maybe my father or my uncles and my mom's era, they watched sports on, or like early 80s. They watched things on regular television. Before the 90s came and monopolized the whole thing, then Showtime, the only thing we really had was ESPN. And ESPN had like Friday night fights, Tuesday night fights, those type of things. And we could see those top fighters. But HBO and Showtime actually messed up the sport. They did that by, oh, if you didn't have HBO, you're screwed. Okay, for all the people that couldn't even get cable, you're screwed. You're not watching any boxing, so you don't even really know about guys. You know, it's people that, hey, who is Roy Jones? What? Right? If you didn't have HBO, right, you wouldn't have knew who Roy was. You probably heard about him in the Olympics when he got robbed. But other than that, did you see any of his fights? You might hear about his fights from other people. So the only way you'll really hear about someone like Roy Jones that started his professional debut, his career in the 90s, and if you didn't have HBO, you're SOL. Whereas all these many years fast forward, then you got Al Heyman coming through, like on the 7th, like in 2017. Was it 17 or 16? Or was it 15? I'm not sure. I think he came out about 4 years ago, Al Heyman, right? 4 or 5 years ago with free TV. That mean it put everything from ABC, from what was it, ABC? ABC or CBS, he put it on free TV. Okay, so if you had Channel 3, KTBS, which is ABC, right? you could watch, or Fox, or was it Fox? Yeah, it was Fox. So if you had 33, which is the normal basic channel on television, right? Even if you had analog or digital, you could watch boxing. And that pissed the monopoly off. And who was the monopoly? The people that were behind the premium come up, from the 90s. And who were they? Bob Arum, Oscar de la Hoya, and everybody else that was involved. But those are the guys that we know, noticeable names, right? They tried to sue Al Heyman because Al Heyman had an idea that they didn't want to think of and they wouldn't dare do. That's just like coming out with the electric car in the 80s. Who the hell want to do that? You know what happened to the guy with the electric car in the 80s? They killed him. He was way before Tesla, okay? I mean, the only reason Tesla came into power is because the patent ended. Because they trashed it. They didn't want that shit. They wanted oil and gas because, that's how they made the money. You think these rich oilers are going to want an electric car on the market? Think about it, and everybody will get electric cars. You think about if electric cars came out in the 80s, you know what I mean, instead of now. Tesla's a $70,000 car. Nobody wants that shit then. But if they would have came out in the 80s, you could get a freaking electric car probably for about $5-6 grand, maybe $10,000 by at this point. Okay, because they were able to implement hybrid cars and stuff like that. But no, they did the same thing to Al Heyman. However, maybe because of that, Al Heyman decided, you know what, I'm going to keep my fighters on an island and not allow them to fight anyone. But who suffers? Us, the fans. That's who suffers. So, yeah, he started good. It started great. But then the disputes with other promotional companies that caused a lot of confliction and confusion. So, again, I mean, he was good. I mean, not saying he's a shitty businessman. He'll always be a good businessman. We've heard Floyd talk about him all the time. Oh, I want to thank Al Heyman. Oh, I want to thank Al Heyman, and God for making this possible. Whoa. Did you say Al Heyman and God? Snake Plissken. Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's the key, but can you really trust anyone when it involves money? Iceman, it's a very good question. Kurt, what time is it where you are? It is 7:47 where I'm at. King, meet us. I haven't heard any news. None. And I don't know, man. I don't know what Wilder's doing. Halim Boston. I think there can only be one Don King. I don't think Al Heyman. You know who Al Heyman is in the black promoter world? If we were going to compare them to fighters, let me give you an example. Don King was equivalent of Jack Johnson, right? Al Heyman is equivalent to Joe Louis. Why? Because they're totally two different people. Totally two different. The only thing, they're black and they do the same shit. Okay? Look at Don King. Hey, baby, I'm living in America. Give me your money. Go ahead and sign it. I'll write everything in later. Baby, you ain't gonna miss this. I'm gonna tell you. We gonna fight. We gonna have bunches and bunches. It's gonna be a spectacle, baby. That's Don King. Okay? Jack Johnson. He taunted people. He beat white guys up when you couldn't beat white guys up. And on top of that, he taunted those guys as he knocked the teeth out. Okay? And he said all types of shit, and he dated white women by the abundance. I think he had a fucking R. Kelly harem of white women. He loved them. You know what I mean? Whereas Joe Louis, soft-spoken, not a loudmouth, stayed out the public eye, didn't even want to kiss in public. Where Jack Johnson was driving 100 miles an hour across state lines with white women with the titties hanging out. Right? Joe Louis didn't do any of that. He didn't have white women. He had a nice looking, beautiful, Carmen or caramel complected wife, and he wasn't brash. He wasn't any of that. Whereas Don King, all in America, baby, all in America. Don't worry, Felix Trinidad, Viva Puerto Rico, Viva Puerto Rico. He gonna beat Oscar De La Hoya, I'm gonna tell you. Do you think Al Haymon does that? No, Al Haymon doesn't even do interviews. How many interviews have you seen Al Haymon do? Tell me, guys, how many interviews have you seen Al Haymon do? That's right. Zero. Okay? Zero. You haven't heard him do a one because he doesn't do interviews. Coming from a guy, Don King, does. Anytime you see him, you'll see Don King, he's like 88 years old. You'll see, oh, in America, baby. I still got Trevor Bryant. He's going to be the best. He's going to be, again, the top heavyweight. We're going to make sure that happens. Allah Akbar. Praise the Lord. Right? You don't see that. So they go, no. So, yes, they're two different people, but I think Al Haymon is a much more advanced version of that, if that's the case, because Joe Louis was damn sure an advanced version of Jack Johnson as far as the public eye. I'm not talking about their fighting ability, anything like that, and I'm not talking about Don King's ability to promote. I'm talking about the way they conduct business. They are two different people. So I don't know about that wannabe shit. No, Al Haymon is Al Haymon. Don King is Don King. Counterpunch. Al Haymon in public is like the sighting of a white buffalo. Yeah, absolutely. He doesn't do those. He's his thing. He don't need to be in the public eye to get things done. Whereas Don King, Don King is all in your face. Everything he's gonna say, you take it to the face. That's what you say, and that's what he said. No contract, just talk. That's all right. No, we just need your signature, baby. Don't worry. We'll. No, we can put it in the computer these days, baby. We can put your name and your signature there. Your signature there, baby. You signed to it. Give me your money. Shit. Wilder ducked White in a real way. Well, yeah, he avoided White, but here's the thing. He couldn't do it by himself. How you gonna leave your promoter Eddie Hearn? That's ridiculous. You must not know about business. Who's that? Don King destroyed a lot of people besides Mike. Mike was a guy that Mike actually came out of that shit. He came out of that. Like, Don King destroyed a lot of people. He did underhanded shit. That's why I wanted people. I put it in the community because I wanted people to see. It was a very good movie, good acting and stuff. Ving Rhames, shout out to him. And I think he was like a very good fighter. But as far as, so I think he's a very good actor, Ving Rhames. And he portrayed Don King because Don King was that dude. He was brash, he was flashy, he was clever, he was slick, okay? He was dirty. He did whatever. He didn't give a shit, But Only in America was a very good movie because it explained how Don King's mentality got to the way it was. It wasn't just he woke up being this fucking asshole with this kinky ass hair that stuck up on his head. That wasn't the case. That's why I wanted people to watch that movie because it showed who this guy was before he got into the boxing game or to the promoter game. What kind of work he did, what kind of character he was. You know what I mean? And the things he did to get to where he was. I thought Don King was just a psychopath. Don King was a killer. No, yes, Don King is a convicted murderer. That's correct. So, and you gotta look at Don King is not really, Don King ain't really a guy you want to mess with. No, his father did not die in a meat grinder. Probably far worse. King of all kings. His father died in a molten lava vat. He was melted. He was disintegrated. His father was disintegrated, not meat grinded. No, yeah, it was crazy. I mean, that was a very good scene. You know what I mean? And because he explained he was talking to his stepson. What's his stepson's name? I forget his name. Forget, but he's also a king. He adopted the name. I want to answer. Wow, it was self defense, Kurt. What was self defense? We beat the shit out of the dude? No, it wasn't. He came in. I want my motherfucking money. I want my money, and he stomped him to death. Shit. All right. Damn, I got choked to death. Okay. What show are you working on? Fear of the Walking Dead. Got stripped because of the failed drug test that later came back inconclusive. No, you don't mess with Don King. Must be that corona. Nah, I just got choked like something got caught in my throat. It was weird. They should have a statue of Don King in every state in Louisiana and one in Alaska. White deserves his shot, man, whether it's Fury or otherwise. He wants smoke with Wilder, but Wilder don't want it. Drew Perez, he should fight White. I mean, honestly, all these fighters should fight each other. I think they need to catch up, and I think they need to fight the rest of the division. I mean, one after the other. Whoever wins, whoever comes back, Wilder, he can continue his career because he still needed to build his resume. He can do exactly that. If he fights White, that'd be the next big fight we want to see. That would give the fans a fight that we would love to see. And if it's an action-packed fight, why not do it again? Why does this have to be a hook, line, and sinker? The one deal. They could fight, and then, hey, if White beats Deontay, because here's the thing. How many times have Deontay gave you an action-packed fight? Think about it. He doesn't give you action-packed fights. He gives you knockouts. Yeah, Jeremy Dunn. Yeah, he will be back. Jarrell Miller will be back. If I was Jarrell Miller, I'd go to WWF. I think White should fight Ruiz if Wilder never decides to fight him again. Well, I mean, he should fight Ruiz anyway without Wilder. Wilder's not a deal breaker. He should fight whoever is in front of him. Give Oscar Rivas the match. Yeah, WWE. Did I say WWF? Yeah, that's old school, right? Dillian White does deserve a shot. all of these fighters picking and choosing who and when they want to fight is beyond ridiculous at this point. No, you're absolutely right. Would love to see Wilder versus White fight or Ruiz. That's right, Kurt. I'd love to see that too. Are we ever going to see a counterpunch MMA in the future? Well, yes. I wanted to dedicate time for the second channel for just UFC. But unfortunately, we started working. So I'm working, going here to there, you know. But it's going to come, definitely. So in the future, you will see UFC stuff, you know, and I think it will be great. Your thoughts on Garcia, Haney, Tank, Loma, Lopez situation? They all need to fight each other and stop fucking around. But I predict this: they're not going to fight at 135. They're going to somebody's going to meet at one. See, unfortunately for Loma, he's not going anywhere else. He's not moving up because he's a smaller guy. Yada yada yada. But as far as those four kings, they're going to fight at a different level. Look, Tank Davis is already going to 140. You think he's just going to fight at 140 and not stay there? No, he's going to be there. Okay, so he won't fight Ryan at that. Look, Ryan and Haney probably won't fight until they at the 147-pound division, just like Oscar did Mosley. Okay, would like to see Dillian against Wilder, but I'm shaking for Dillian a bit. You should be, because if Wilder hits him with that bomb squad. I love UFC in my opinion. Boxing needs to take a page of the UFC playbook. But here's the thing. Here's the counter. New Media Today, USA Boxing. UFC has taken every page from boxing that they can possibly take. Weight classes, 24-hour early weigh-ins, all that came from boxing. Okay, so yeah, they have done that. You see better fights because they don't fuck around. Because White owns this shit. He knows what he's doing, and it's going by a ranking system that actually is activated and enforced. But then we don't have a lot of divas and all that, prima donnas in UFC either, but they don't get paid as much. So that's the thing. Guys like Cotto, Canelo, those guys like that, they ain't gonna just fight anyone. They want certain things to happen first. If it don't happen, they ain't fighting. Kurt, who do you think Conor Ben's next opponent should be? Oh no, it's a good question. I know there's levels to this. Bruce Leroy, the real McCoy. I think he beats them all. Thanks for your answers. My cheers, man. Well, no. He said Ruiz is trash. Would like to see Dillian against Wilder, but I'm shaking. Okay, I already read that. The problem with boxing versus UFC is the fact that there are four major organizations. There need to be none of them. They need to take every fucking one of them out. Get rid of them. They're all a ripoff. You think about it. Even the IBO, you got to imagine paying a sanctioned body to the IBO. Why? Why are you doing that shit? What is the IBO? What are they, like stock? Is it going to go up in popularity one day? Think about it. Why do you think boxing went away from making big fights on consistent basis? Kurt, like they used to. This is why I miss Don King. At least we used to get great fights. Well, that's true. Well, when you find out you don't have to fight every hard fight and still make money, that's what they do. And they build it off the idea of hopefully making a fight. IBO rankings are legit, though. Okay. But who do you have? I mean, besides Anthony Joshua as an IBO champion, who do you think De La Hoya will fight against? Do you hear he how turned up he was on Triller. Um, Hopefully it's Roy Jones. That'd be a good fight. I'd watch it. Kurt, do you think Virgil can't beat Boots? I have no idea. That would be a good fight. I want to see it. Triller was an embarrassment. You know what Triller is? Triller is a new platform that's experimental. You have Snoop Dogg there. A lot of people don't care for his vernacular, but at the end of the day, people know who the hell Snoop Dogg is, right? So I mean, if you look at those views on, Paul and Askren, those views are up. Like people that are uploading content of those rounds are getting millions of views, right? So that should tell you something. I mean, millions. How much of a difference do you think it made AJ train for Big Baby Miller when he lost to Ruiz? He was a lot more muscular. He was a lot red or dead. What it was, he thought he was going to be in there with a guy that ain't moving, that a guy that doesn't have the hand speed that he has. He was prepared. He was all muscled up to knock out Jarrell Miller. So he got all thick and cut and beefy. Look at him now. He's all lean and shit. Looks like he's 20. It seems like Broner got another fight coming on Triller. Look, Triller is the shit. It's coming in a big freaking way, just like Vetcoin. Right? Just like Vetcoin. Seems like Dana White needs to make Woodley versus Jake Paul. That would be big. You know what? They could fight here. I don't, Jake Paul would just get destroyed in the UFC, but yeah, I would like to see Woodley, Do you give Usyk any chance of becoming undisputed one day? Yes. Funny as it is, yes. People are overlooking that, man. I keep telling you guys. Hang now. Gerard, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Andy would give Tyson Fury the fight of his life. It won't be easy. Want to see Tommy Fury versus JP. Look, Andy Ruiz wouldn't beat Tyson Fury. I'm sorry, that he wouldn't beat Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury will sit back and box Andy Ruiz. And if you've seen how Anthony Joshua did it, Tyson Fury will do it the same way. Jake Paul should fight a boxer now. Yeah, he should. Aaron Morris, I'm with you. He should actually fight a boxer. Not a wrestler, not a basketball player, but a boxer. Hold on just a second, guys. I hope not. It was a shot God of War. It was on the stage. It's just loud, we get, ear protection and shit like that. Yeah, I'm gonna be shooting off some rounds today. It's gonna be some good high action stuff. I think this is the is it the first season? I know it's the first episode? I think it's the first episode, the second. Yeah, this is the first episode. Triller is too ratchet for me. Kaka-poo-poo. It's not for everybody. It's not. So, don't, it's not for everybody. Unless Andy becomes Speedy Gonzalez and beats everyone else. I'm an actor and a stunt performer. Yes. Kurt, I do agree. Usyk will become a unified champion again, but right now, Joshua Fury White would whoop him, in my opinion. Well, we'll see. That's what boxing's about, seeing these fights happen. KSI should have stuck to boxing. Jake Paul making more money than Fury now. Congrats on getting the part. Drew Perez, appreciate you, man. Thank you. Tommy Fury versus Jake Paul would be a massive pay-per-view. Both got millions of followers. Tommy Fury and Jake Paul. That would be a fight. I would like to see that. I would pay to see that. Mr. Angus, you are absolutely right. It seems like Triller is after that casual money. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what everyone's after. They're just capitalizing on it right now, and it's working. No heavyweight can touch Fury. Well, Wilder did. Knock his brains out all over the floor. To this day. To this day. Otto Valeen touched him up. There you go. See, I mean, he's not untouchable. You know, you got dropped by Chisora. Come on, you're not untouchable, bro. It happens. I don't mind Wilder getting a third fight with Fury because he does deserve it, but it should happen after the Joshua BS Fury fight. Well, it should have happened already. What if Wilder can touch Fury? AJ will be able to do more. Maybe. We'll see. Tommy Fury will destroy Jake. Come on now, 11. Hey, we got to see it, Charlie Torre. We got to see it. Did you see the video of Spence dancing? Very suspicious. No, I didn't. I didn't see that. I don't think I want to see that. I think Joe Joyce beats Wilder. Hey, that's a hell of a fight, though. You ain't fighting Daniel Dubois. You ain't fighting Benson Dubois' grandson. I know you guys probably won't get that reference, but Benson was a show in the early 80s and mid 80s, or mid 80s, late or early 90s. Wonder if Wilder will break his knuckles on someone soon. Yeah, he'll do it too. I'll break my hand to knock out the man. I ain't scared. I get another metal rod. All I knew, I beat Tommy Fury in pool. Then I legged it. Olympic gold medal can't knock him out. Hard man to beat. He's enough of a maniac. He'd still use the broken hand. He would. I seen the bone breaking out and I hit him and it made a scratch in the ear when I punched him near. I'm so frustrated. Ivan Drago. Yeah, this is Wilder. He dies. This is Wilder. He did. He gonna die. He gonna die a death. Oh man. If I was Wilder, I'd just train. He left his hook over and over until he can deliver his. Yeah, I mean, yo, Kurt, you think Wilder can intimidate Joshua like he did other fighters? I don't know. I know you were scared. Joshua, I know you were scared. You didn't say nothing either. The reason you didn't say nothing because you knew I was coming. You know I was gonna break your face. Jay Juice and Jay, let me tell you something. I could knock you out. You think Lil Andy did something to you. You wait until I hit you with this bomb and then it's gonna come. Watch what I tell you to this day. Watch what I tell you. You can't run. Eddie can't save you no more. If Eddie come, he gonna try to hold anybody. I don't want White. I want you. I want all the belts now. Tyson Fury stole from me. Now I'm gonna get it back from you on everything. On God, I'm gonna knock him out. I'm gonna knock you out, AJ. AJ, I'm gonna knock you out. This what I do. I don't fight. I knock people out with all my might. To this day. To this day. Yeah, I got you saying to this day, because you know I'm going to knock you out. Ask Tyson Fury, I knocked his ass out too. The ref helped him. But I'm going to knock you out, AJ. You ain't as fast, so I'm going to knock you on your ass. You thought I was done. I stayed quiet, because silence is golden. Because my eyes can still see and my ears can still hear, but you gonna find out I'm gonna knock your ass out for sure. So maybe he does, you know. See what AJ does when he does all that. You know, AJ, you're not gonna do nothing. You're not gonna do nothing. Don't try to brush up on me like you're gonna do something. I give people autopsies when I hit them. Even myself. Johnny Best, greetings, Kurt. Much love from Malaysia. Counterpunch to you. Kurt plays Wilder, Bronze Bomber, the movie. To this day, I'ma knock everybody out. Yeah, that's what I do. Everybody that ever fought me, ever hit the canvas or got knocked out. Ask Ortiz, ask Tyson Fury, ask Malik Scott. I just hit him with the top of my glove and he went down. So you know what's going on. Oh, no one will be boycotting AJ versus Fury. It will be all BS. AJ, he learning, Charlie, but AJ gonna learn how to get knocked out. And it started. I'm gonna finish him. I'm gonna finish AJ. I'm gonna knock him out. He gonna dream of this right hand, cause the right hand was destined to knock his ass out. Oh, Charlie Torre. AJ is a great boxer, though. He is. What up, Counterpunch in chat? LDBC is in the house. D Hodges, what's up, man? How you doing? I feel like JD's is friends with Joe Exotic. Yo, you know what? I could see that. Joe Exotic that and JD, they look like they hang out and drink beers together. You can imagine that. Here's the look. Here's this. Here's JD's. Yeah. Deontay, I'm telling you, he's good. Oh, he's good. He's good. He's good. Yeah, he's kind of sexy. Whoa, what? He's kind of sexy. Joe, what are you talking about? Yeah, seeing his broad shoulders. I don't know. Every time I see it, I get a little frisky, a little tickle in my pickle. Oh, well, I don't know about all that. I don't know about that, JoJo, but I'm telling you, Deontay's a good fighter. He has a gift. Oh, he sure does have a gift. I know what you mean. Oh, man. But I can see him just sitting at a bar drinking or something like that. Get your hand off me, Joe. God damn it. Joe, control yourself. I just get a little frisky when I drink that Budweiser. Little bandana and shit. You know, I saw Tiger King. I saw that in like during the Corona shit. AJ would knock Wilder out before. You know, I mean, you would have to. I mean, Wilder's one of them guys. You better put it on you because before he hits you, that's it. You know, I'd take that right hand in my keister. Kurt loved this one live. I gotta go now. Back to work at 3. Peace until next time. Nikki Blue Eyes, have a great day, baby. Wilder can't sack Diaz, at least get proper head coach and keep Diaz as an assistant or whatever. That might happen. I mean, he probably already done that, Quan. He probably already took JD's out of the training spot and just made him just fully management. It happens. I mean, it should have happened a long time ago, honestly, but it happens. Do you think Miller had a chance to come back, considering how old he is?
It's go time.
Let's go. Well, guys, it is time to rock and roll. It's been good. Everybody on the chat, be blessed. Have a great day. Peace and love. And everybody's been counterpunched. Peace.